What does it mean when two people say nothing at all, and the world still hears love? On Christmas morning, while cities glittered and timelines overflowed with noise, one quiet image stopped everything. No grand announcement, no press statement, just a single photograph. Dylan Wang and Shen Yue, together at Christmas, sharing a moment so intimate it felt almost accidental, as if the world had stumbled upon something it was never meant to see. And yet, once seen, it could never be unseen. This was not a picture made for spectacle. It was a picture made for memory. Right now, right before the next revelation, is your chance to stay connected. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another powerful story, another shocking twist, or another unforgettable journey. In the soft stillness of the holiday, when time seems to slow and emotions surface without permission, Dylan Wang and Shen Yue appeared not as celebrities, not as icons, but as two people choosing each other. The framing was simple, the mood was warm, and the silence within the image spoke louder than any headline ever could. For years, their story had lived in glances, in interviews that stopped just short of confession, in moments fans replayed again and again, searching for meaning between pauses. They were a pair defined by restraint, by timing, by an almost cinematic patience. And then, on the most emotionally loaded day of the year, they let the truth breathe. Christmas changes people. It strips away performance. It asks one honest question. Who do you want beside you when the year closes its final chapter? That photograph answered everything. Dylan Wang, often known for his bold presence and magnetic intensity, looked unguarded. The sharp edges softened. The performance dissolved. Beside him, Shen Yue carried that familiar quiet warmth, the kind that does not demand attention but earns it. Together, they did not pose. They existed. And in that existence was a kind of love that does not need validation. This was not about fashion or location or perfection. It was about proximity, about comfort, about the unspoken understanding that comes only after years of shared history. The kind of understanding that says, we have already chosen each other, even when no one was watching. And yet everyone was watching. Fans did not scream because there was nothing to scream about. Instead, there was silence, reflection, a collective pause. Because the image did not feel like a reveal. It felt like a confirmation of something long known but never officially named. The kind of truth that does not arrive dramatically, but settles gently, like snow. What made the moment unforgettable was its restraint. No exaggerated smiles. No staged romance. Just a shared Christmas, captured in a frame that felt almost too personal to belong to the public. It was a reminder that the deepest love stories are not written in declarations, but in quiet consistency. In that photograph, there was history. Long nights of filming. Years of growth. Separate paths that somehow always curved back toward each other. There was trust built away from cameras. There was patience in the waiting. And there was certainty in the timing. Because love, when it is real, does not rush. It waits until the moment feels right. Until the season matches the feeling. Until Christmas morning arrives and the world is calm enough to finally see it clearly. This was not just a holiday photo. It was a chapter closing and another beginning. A subtle way of saying that some connections do not fade with time, distance, or silence. They deepen. As the year draws to an end, that single image lingers. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is honest. Because in a world that constantly demands spectacle, Dylan Wang and Shen Yue chose simplicity. And in doing so, they told the most powerful love story of all. Sometimes, forever does not announce itself. Sometimes, it simply shows up. At Christmas. Together. And what happens after the moment the world finally sees what was always there? The days that followed did not bring loud explanations or hurried clarifications. There were no interviews rushing to define the photograph, no captions spelling out what it meant. Dylan Wang and Shen Yue allowed the image to stand on its own, trusting that those who understood love would understand this too. That restraint became part of the story. Because when something is real, it does not need defending. Behind that single Christmas frame was a choice made long before the camera clicked. A choice to protect something fragile in an industry that consumes intimacy. A choice to grow quietly, away from speculation, away from constant observation. For years, they mastered the art of being close without being exposed. And when they finally let the world see, they did it on their own terms. There is a reason Christmas carries such emotional weight. It is a time of reflection, of returning, of choosing what truly matters. People go home, hearts soften, and the noise of ambition fades, even if only for a moment. In that stillness, Wang and Shen Yue were not thinking about narratives or reactions. They were simply present. And presence, more than passion, is what defines lasting love. The photograph revealed more than affection. It revealed safety. The kind of safety where no one needs to perform, where silence is not awkward but comforting, where being together feels less like an event and more like a truth. That kind of connection cannot be staged, and it cannot be rushed. For those who followed their journey from the beginning, the image felt like the final piece of a long, unfinished sentence. Every lingering look from the past, every carefully worded interview, every moment that felt unfinished now made sense. The story had not been paused. It had been quietly unfolding. What makes their love compelling is not intensity, but endurance. Not grand gestures, but consistency. In an industry that often mistakes visibility for authenticity, Wang and Shen Yue chose privacy as a form of devotion. And that choice is what made the Christmas photo resonate so deeply. It was not about proving anything. It was about sharing just enough. Enough to say, this is real. Enough to say, this matters. Enough to say, we are here, together, at the end of the year, exactly where we want to be. And perhaps that is why the image lingered long after Christmas lights dimmed, because it did not belong to a season. It belonged to a future where love is not rushed, where moments are protected, where two people can walk side by side without needing to explain why. A future that began quietly, with a single photograph and a shared Christmas that changed everything. Some love stories are told in chapters. Theirs was told in a pause. And the pause said everything.